A long time ago, in a small village, there lived a greedy witch named Moro. She was a frightful creature with a twisted face and sharp, gnashing teeth. But she had one gift. She could sing so beautifully that anyone who heard her would fall under her spell. Moro loved to sneak into the homes of little children and steal their food, leaving them hungry and weak. It was said that this was why so many children in the village were thin and frail. One of those children was a little girl named Mimi. Mimi's father was a hard-working builder, and her mother was a trader who went to the market every day. Each morning, before the sun had fully risen, Mimi's father would head to work with his tools slung over his shoulder. Her mother would then prepare a hearty breakfast and lunch for Mimi before she left for the market. "Mimi, my dear," her mother would say as she placed the food on the table, "eat well, my dear daughter. You're getting so thin, and I worry about you." "Yes, Mama," Mimi would reply with a smile, though in her heart, she dreaded what was to come. For just as Mimi sat down to eat, Moro would appear, her eerie yet enchanting song floating through the air like a spell. "La la la, little Mimi," she would sing in a voice so sweet it made the birds stop to listen. "Come sing with me, come play with me." Mimi couldn't resist her voice. Every day she would set down her spoon, her food forgotten, and join Moro in song, her small voice blending with hers in perfect harmony. And as she sang, Moro would creep closer to the table, her eyes fixed on the food. As soon as Mimi was fully enchanted by her singing, Moro would swipe her food and gobble it up, leaving nothing but empty plates. When she had eaten her fill, she would lean in close to Mimi, her voice now a menacing hiss. "If you tell anyone about this, I will come back and eat you instead," she would threaten, her cold breath sending shivers down Mimi's spine. Frightened and confused, Mimi would watch as Moro disappeared into the shadows. She dared not tell her parents, for fear the witch would carry out her dreadful promise. But day by day she grew thinner, her cheeks hollow and her energy fading, while her parents grew more and more worried. "Mimi, you must eat more," her mother urged, adding extra portions to her plate each day. But no matter how much food she prepared, Mimi only seemed to grow weaker. One day, after weeks of watching their daughter waste away, Mimi's parents decided something had to be done. They noticed that her plates were always empty, yet she looked like she hadn't eaten a thing. They began to suspect that someone, or something, was stealing Mimi's food. The next morning, Mimi's mother set her breakfast on a high shelf, far out of her reach. "Mimi," she said gently, "your food is up here today. I'll be back from the market soon and we'll eat together." Mimi nodded, but her heart pounded with fear. What would Moro do when she found out she couldn't reach the food? Her father, pretending to leave for the farm, instead hid in a corner of the room, watching closely to see what would happen. He held his breath as he waited, his hand gripping the handle of a heavy stick. As the morning sun climbed higher, Moro appeared, her sinister song echoing through the room. "La la la, little Mimi. Where is your food today? Come sing with me, come play with me." Mimi, as if in a trance, pointed to the high shelf. "It's up there, Moro," she whispered. Moro frowned, her twisted face contorting with anger. "Why is it up there?" she demanded. "Get it down for me." Mimi, shaking with fear, climbed onto a chair, but the shelf was too high. She reached up with trembling hands, but she couldn't touch the bowls. Moro's eyes narrowed. "Use this stick," she snapped, handing him a long branch. Mimi pushed it down and poked at the bowls, her heart pounding. With a loud crash, the bowls tumbled to the floor, spilling the food everywhere. Moro cackled with glee and bent down to scoop up the food, her mouth already watering at the sight of it. But before she could take a bite, Mimi's father sprang from his hiding place, his eyes blazing with fury. "You wicked witch!" he roared as he swung the stick with all his might. Moro shrieked in surprise as the stick struck her, knocking her to the ground. She tried to scramble to her feet, but Mimi's father was too quick. He struck her again and again, until the wicked witch lay still, her body crumpled and defeated. Mimi stared in shock, hardly believing what he had just witnessed. Her father, panting from the effort, turned to her with a gentle smile. "It's over now, Mimi," he said softly. "The witch is gone." From that day on, no more children in the village grew mysteriously thin. With Moro gone, they were able to eat their food in peace and grew strong and healthy once again. Mimi's parents were overjoyed to see their daughter's cheeks fill out and his energy return, knowing that the nightmare was finally over.